And we're live. Okay. If you join here, let me know how the audio is. And we're gonna if you watch this not live, I'll probably cut it out at the beginning, but there'll be a little stamp that says when to start. Join us on YouTube. I got to make a Twitter post, and we're gonna hang out for 10. I say 10 minutes. It always ends up being like 15, but I should be mostly back now, releasing the new podcast episodes. And today I have documents ready. I did this once before looking at these documents, but now I have them all organized. And we're going to talk about what's going on in Göbekli Tepe and why it is way, way, way worse than anyone really realized. It's pretty wild. So that's what we're doing today. Say hi if you're in the chat. No one's in the chat. Sweet. People will be in the chat eventually. Cool. I'm just going to post this on the Twitter, live on YouTube. Göbekli Tepe is worse than anyone thought. And that's not clickbait, man. That is true. It is very, very true. I mean, they are not complying with Turkish law. They are not complying with the standards from UNESCO. It's all crazy. And my Discord is blowing up at the moment, and I don't know why. Uh, um, Wait a minute. Okay, cool. We're here. Is anyone here? Damn, nobody loves me anymore. That's okay. Me too. What is going on in my Discord? We're gonna start soon. Oh, I shouldn't be pulling this. Well, I guess it's just Discord, but that's public. You can join the Discord if you want. I don't know if the link's below. Regardless, this is what we're gonna look at. I want to start, but I can't start yet because nobody's here. I guess I can just start. If you're in the chat, say something. I will start as soon as I get one single comment. I'll talk to one person all day. I don't care. Oh, Kaz, what's up? The Scottish coming out again. It's late for you. Not that late. A little late. Bring my water. So it's getting no 12,000-year-old city. No, well, it's not a city. No, there's nothing wrong with the information that we have. This is about the management of the site. That's good information. No, I should have been more clear. No, I don't have disagreements on. Well, actually, the one thing I majorly disagree on the mainstream on this is that there is enough evidence to say that Göbekli Tepe was created by hunter-gatherers. But what I'm going over today is the archaeology, the documents from UNESCO, from the Turkish government, in regards to the management of Göbekli Tepe. And Jimmy Corsetti is getting way more vindicated because it's worse than he even thought. Yeah, I'm only going to be here for like an hour and a half right now. I want to text Jimmy. I'll at least text him. And if he's available, he'll come. He's almost definitely not going to come, but I'll at least let him know. Yeah. On the Göbekli Tepe documents for the next hour and a half, at least. They're trying to do some freaking. Let me see. See if I can get rid of it. Hello, XDP King, XDB King, XDP. I was watching some video earlier about times that they really screwed up on some news thing. Where a Asian airliner had crashed, and they said that the pilots' names were Something Wong, holy fuck, too low ground, something like that, and then and then boom, then ouch. It was or something like that. It was a bang, then ouch. Yeah, crazy. Yeah, 3 people got fired apparently, which is kind of wild. But it is a massive screw up, and obviously, those are not names of people. That's a description of the leading up to a plane crash. Holy fuck. No, Something Wong. Holy fuck. You know? Yeah, sorry. Okay. Let's do archaeology stuff. Let's talk about archaeology. Getting into it. All right. Don't have enough time. Hey, I'm not the one who came up with this. Somebody lied to a news station, got 3 people fired, and made the most hilarious mistake ever. Also, Kaz, you probably heard this story before. This is the last thing I will tell before I start. But in New England, where I'm from, the place that you buy alcohol is called a package store, which we shorten to Packy. So when I was in Scotland on study abroad, I asked my friends if they wanted to go hit the Packy, which is the terminology we would use to go purchase alcohol, is go hit the Packy, which I think in the UK is just asking people if they want to commit a hate crime. And that's not what I was asking, but it is what I said. Those are the words that the those phonemes, whatever they're called, they came out of my mouth. Sweet. Okay, let's go. So what we're going to start with is the 2017 site management plan. And this is the site management plan for Göbekli Tepe. And I have some terminology here that I have taken notes on so far. And we'll just pull it up. I got it on PDF, man. I'm prepared. So this is the Göbekli Tepe site management plan from January 2017. And this was the site management plan that was in place prior to Göbekli Tepe becoming a World Heritage Site, which occurred later in 2017. And we have that document ready today because fortunately, all of these are public documents. There are some documents that are not public, but we have a lot of information that's public. So just so we are all clear here, this is the head. So it says the header, April 2014, but then it was revised in 2017. Revised in 2017, and below that, German Archaeological Institute. Lee Clare, that's a name that some of you will know if you're on Twitter talking about this stuff. Are people aware of this? Do I have any questions from the chat? And then the Turkish Ministry of Culture. So this is a somewhat convoluted site because it is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. So UNESCO, which is the United Nations, there are people that do the old stuff. I don't know what the ESCO means, but this is the United Nations. But Turkey is where the site is located. The country of Turkey is where it's located. So the Turkish government, multiple departments are involved. The United Nations is involved. And to complicate things further, the German Archaeological Institute, Göbekli Tepe project, is involved. So there are a lot of different players here, which in a lot of cases, when you have a lot of people who are responsible for and in charge, who is supposed to do what can get pretty convoluted. And that is at least one of the issues that I think I've seen at this site. How's my volume, by the way? I'm on a different audio interface right now. So am I too loud? Am I too quiet? Do I sound like crap? So there's some stuff I want to look at here. Wait a minute. I had this edited, didn't I? I'm going back to this after I got all this stuff prepared a while ago. So we're coming back to it. This is all about the site management. One of the things I want to talk about, we want to know about the trees, right? Oh God, so many. Tree plantations. A lot of the trees, when they talk about trees, they're talking about this mulberry tree that's apparently very important to the local people. I don't care. Okay, the tree stays. That one tree is staying. That's okay. I can increase the gain a bit. I will increase the gain a bit. How is that? How are we doing there? Is that too much? Or are we good? If you need to turn me down, you can also do that. It's better to be louder compared to other videos. Yeah. So, okay. I'm going to put it up even more. So lower it if you have to, but yes, I am on a different, my travel audio interface. I know, I don't know how clear it looks, but my office behind me is actually just green screened in without my green screen because I don't have it with me. So it's also not perfect. So we want to hear about olive trees. They mentioned that once. Yeah, look, mulberry trees are cool. The tree is fine. It's just It's fine to have the mulberry tree. You just don't need to keep bringing it up in the site management plan. Like, you have this tree, it's important to the local community. That's perfect. Address that. Say this tree is not hurting the site. Address it one time, but instead there are 19 times they mention trees in the site management plan, and most of them are about this freaking mulberry tree. And I don't care. It's just not relevant. It's like they just love this freaking local tree. But that is not related to managing the site. So, can you tell me, why do they try and cover all this stuff up? What's the point if I know about the old sites or not? Okay. So there are a lot of people in the somewhat alternative community that believe that sites and information is regularly covered up in the mainstream archaeology community. I don't think that's true. And I've stated this several times, usually like online. There are a few examples of that, and I think those are mostly the exception. But I'll leave that up for now. These are exceptions. Like, I think generally it has to do more with what people are expecting to find, the specific information they're looking for. Archaeologists are obsessed with trash, right? They love midden heaps, which is another name for a trash heap. And I value the information that you get from midden heaps as well. It's very, very useful information, because you can see the difference in sites over time in the same local cultural area, of how diets changed. You can see like what percentage of a certain type of animal they're eating, like 40% deer in this midden heap, and then a village of the same culture 100 years later, they're eating 20% deer, and they switched more to food products. That's really important spreadsheet type information that I love. But there's other information that's also important, and that information is not as much looked for. There's also the problem of pointed archaeology. So generally, they are looking for a specific thing. A lot of archaeology digs are pointed to find something in particular. So there is a selection bias in what years, and that is based on what years and locations are searched for, and that's based on the selection bias of what the field both believes about what and where they're going to find, and what they end up studying. So I don't believe that archaeologists are often hiding information. I don't think that the people at Göbekli Tepe are hiding information in particular. I haven't seen any evidence of it, at least. What I would say is that what the public, especially the alternative community, wants to know about these sites is maybe not in line with what the archaeologists want to know about these sites. They care much more about the material culture and the construction of these sites than about the totality of the site vis-a-vis a full excavation. So it's not really that weird. It's actually standard for them to not fully excavate a site. In the case of Göbekli Tepe, I believe it's a little bit different. Um, excuse me, because of how important it is, and the importance of the motifs and the symbology that's on these pillars. I believe that tells us a lot. However, while those things are still important to archaeology, archaeologists, I think it's fair to say, are less interested in the information that they will get from those T pillars. So because of that, they're not as inclined to excavate. However, the excavations at Göbekli Tepe are not normal, and I have documents today that I will be showing you while I'm going live here that show that the excavations are not normal. So they have already explicitly, in some of these documents that I'm showing you again, they've discussed how they will be limiting excavations for future generations. That verbiage is used, and that they do not plan on, in any sort of forthcoming timeline, to excavate the full site. That part isn't really a deviation. It might suck for some of us who want to see it fully excavated, but it's not a deviation. And unfortunately, they do have the monopoly over the excavation of these sites. However, there is also reason to believe that even within that framework of not fully excavating the site, they are also limiting excavations further. At the very least, I can tell you 100% that UNESCO's reports are urging, I think urging was the verbiage used, but we'll go over these over the next hour, urging the excavators of Göbekli Tepe to limit excavations because of the lack of a management plan. The management plan that we're looking at right now that's on the screen is from 2017. Per Turkish law, it was expired at the end of 2022, 5 years. It is not updated. Even at the time that this management plan was put in place, at the time this management plan was put in place, it was not sufficient for UNESCO's guidelines. So immediately on acceptance, as a UNESCO heritage site, and we're going to look at that document. In fact, we can do it right now. Immediately on its acceptance, actually, excuse me, 2018, May 2018, on acceptance as part of it, Göbekli Tepe was the excavators were requested. Really, the Turkish government ultimately is responsible for this. They I'll show you the exact wording, but they asked for a updated site management plan that's more comprehensive. And this was 2018. This was 8 years ago, almost 8 years ago. One moment, just literally one moment. I used literally wrong, and I apologize. Okay, past Paul politics. Let's hear what he has to say here. Most archaeologists are not iconographers. Iconographers. I've never read that word out loud. With 10,000-year-old cultures, it is very difficult to be certain about the iconography, and so most archaeologists shy away from it. Yes, exactly. This is the thing, and it makes sense, right? It's totally okay for there to be concentration on certain things in the field. The field of archaeology, which the issue is them having a complete monopoly over this information. It's not that they have a specific interest. It's okay that they're not interested in the iconography. It is unfortunate, however, that it limits the understanding of the people who are interested in the iconography. They are just looking for different things, and that is okay. The real problems are secondary to that. They also don't want to give any opportunity for alternative folks to come up with ideas that could upstage them. Lee Clare probably hates the T-pillar iconography at this point. Yes, and um, it's speculation essentially, but I can see why they would be not happy about it because they probably feel like they're not getting the attention that they deserve. Um, iconographers. Yeah, that makes sense. I'm betting. What's up, Shaman? Good to see you this weekend, by the way. I'm betting they realize that there was a reason this thing was buried, and that reason scares them, whether consciously or unconsciously. Maybe. Yeah, I mean that is again speculation, but sure. It's in that. So there's also arguments about whether it was intentionally buried in a very strange way because I I had an archaeologist argue with me on Twitter once, and they were telling me it wasn't intentionally buried. We know it wasn't intentionally buried. And they linked me to a source. And in that source itself, it said that it was intentionally buried. In the source that was shared to me by the person who said that it was not intentionally buried, the source said Göbekli Tepe was intentionally buried. So I've seen many sources that say that. I see some that say that it wasn't intentionally buried, but it's not like that's a fact. There seems to be an argument of it. I really don't care. I don't care. Sorry, I'm late. That's all right, Kev. Thanks for joining us. I mean, yeah, it's okay if he doesn't agree with you and if people don't agree, but I hate when it is made into a like they say, "Oh, we know, we definitely know," because it's not like that. This is not something that's settled. Just like the impact hypothesis is not settled. So this right here, this is from May of 2018. I pulled this PDF out of the out of the entire report from UNESCO. So this is, but I promise you, it's from May 2018. I am probably overly thorough with this type of thing. So this is from the one. This information up here. This is from the prior site because this has all the sites that were accepted this year. Okay, so in May 2018, Göbekli Tepe, Turkey, is inscribed on the World Heritage Site on the World Heritage List on the basis of criteria 1, 2, and 4. These are different. Those are different factors they take into account, and they're right here. But that's not important to what we're talking about today, so we're going to skip it. Okay, so actually, I think I can. Is this the one I used? I want to highlight things here. That's not the one I used. I should have got this ready. I apologize. Always. I'm always unprepared. All right. That's okay. We'll let that load. They're killing me, Smalls. Don't need the free trial. Okay. So here's what we're going in. Okay. So remember, this is 2018. What we're talking about here. This is on acceptance. These are the first things that UNESCO tells to the Turkish government and all the other people that are in charge of excavation at Göbekli Tepe about what they expect, what they want, how it's being accepted, the laws in place by Turkey. That's what's being described here. They're describing the Turkish Ministry of Culture here. So these are the recommendations from UNESCO to the Turkish government. Okay, so recommends that the state party the state party refers to the country that whose sovereign land the World Heritage Site is located in. In this case, the state party is Turkey. Closely monitor developments around the property. So this is more general. Carry out a study on the impact on the property of the proposed railway line. Take measurements to ensure landscape treatment. So all these are specific things, but this is really what I want to see. So in May of 2018, they were told to develop the management plan. Develop the management plan. This is what they were told to do 8 years ago. Develop the management plan to include a full conservation plan, including an associated action plan and dedicated resources. This has not occurred. Include a maintenance work plan. I don't know if this has occurred. Oh, no. That's as part of the management plan. So no, this has not incurred. Appoint a manager based on the property all year round. I believe that is in place. Include a long-term approach for the management of infrastructure developments. I believe that a tourist plan, which I would say both of these are a part of, these were done. But a management plan, including a conservation plan, this has not occurred. They were asked to do this 8 years ago. This has not happened at Göbekli Tepe, this hugely important site to all of world history. And this right here is about Germany. But that's what's being requested here, and we're going to put this on this main document. All right. This was the nomination. This is May. Oh my gosh, this is from UNESCO. Let's unhighlight that. Don't like that. From UNESCO. Keeping this real organized. What is up, Rube? Good to see you, brother. They keep coming back to that train track and another entire set of trees way further out, while all but completely ignoring the olive trees. Yes, they don't discuss the olive trees. They're obsessed with this goddamn mulberry tree, which could have been addressed in one sentence. There is one mulberry tree. It's not a problem for the site. It's important to the local community. We never have to talk about it again. We're leaving it there. Nobody has a problem with that. But they just want to keep talking about the goddamn mulberry tree, and they don't want to talk about the olive trees. I'm trying to remember where they did talk about them. So this is a difficult one to open. Sorry, I got to turn down this light here I got in my face. Oh, it doesn't work. Sweet. Um. Okay, so but here is how they define the site management. Well, I don't even care. What's up, Philological Bell? I know you. How you doing? Good to see you. We're talking about the UNESCO documents and the Turkish government documents concerning Göbekli Tepe. So I'm going to open up this annex report. This is a collection of documents, and this is a huge document. And while wait, did I cut this? I might have cut this down because it was so huge and it had like maps I didn't need to see, but like so big that I tried to open up. Here we go around the welfare bush. Yeah, no, this doesn't like to work because it's way too big. Let me see if I can open it up in Lumen. I'll give it a moment to do that while I take a look back at the main document. Oh, maybe supplementary info as well. This isn't organized super well, unfortunately, which sucks, but it's also like, you know, at least we have the information and I can organize it better by splitting up the PDFs and everything. Close that down. Wow. No, it really doesn't want to. It doesn't want to do it. There's stuff in here I need to look at. Let's try this one. Okay. I guess I just have to download it and open. 111 megabytes. They have like massive pictures in this. It's impossible to open up. I mean, I probably shouldn't even be trying this on my laptop, which is a really good laptop, but it was struggling on my main computer, which is like a supercomputer. Not a supercomputer. That's an over. It's a really, really good computer for editing, so it's good. Doesn't matter. Supplementary info. All right, we're gonna do some control F searches here. Olive. Okay, here we go. This is what I wanted to see. So there's one thing about this. We're gonna go up to the title of this particular section. So the one thing is that this is a draft. All I have is a draft that was in the approval process, and I cannot personally find an accepted version of this. But we do have a draft here. And in this draft, and one thing you'll notice is that this has 2017 to 2021. So this is a plan for the years of 2017 to 2021. So it's compiled by Dr. Lee. No sound? No sound. Do I have sound? It says I have. I'm hearing the sound come out. I think that's on your end, Rue. Am I crazy? Am I back? Okay. I kicked the Ethernet cord. Sorry. Amateur hour out here. So this was created by Dr. Lee Clare and Dr. Is this channel on Twitch? No. I do have a Twitch channel, but I don't put the stuff on Twitch. Dr. Ing Moritz Kinzel. I'm sorry, there's a period after Ing. I don't know what that means, but I might be pronouncing that wrong. The Deutsches Archäologisches Institute. That's in German, but it means it's the DAI or the German Archaeological Institute in English. From UNESCO World Heritage Nomination File 2017, Göbekli Tepe Site Management Plan 2017, and State of Conservation Report 2016. So this is from 2017. And what you see here in long-term activities, removal of olive trees is a priority for long-term activities. Now, from the way that I read it, if you have a master plan that is for the years of 2017 to 2021, it feels like priority for long-term activities, removal of olive trees is intended before the end of 2021. Now, maybe that's not true, but I don't see another way to read that. And this is not the only time these olive trees are mentioned. Is this true here? All T-pillar enclosures were excavated by Klaus Schmidt. Lee Clare did not excavate a single T-pillar enclosure ever since he took over 10 years ago and does not plan to do so in the future. That is unfortunate, really. Oh well. So let me see. There's another time, I'm not sure if it's in this file, when the olive trees are mentioned. But this is what we're dealing with. The olive trees were mentioned. Is this on 2 different pages? Oh, wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. This isn't the draft. I didn't know this was in here. This is not the draft. It's included in the same document. Yeah, no worries, man. Great to hang out with you too, Shaman. Okay, so this is the actual finalized one. And they say the same thing, long-term activities. The trees. They speak for the trees. Let's see this section. Oh, 4, is that dealing with the trees? You see what I'm talking about here, guys? Am I crazy? You want removal? Oh, and this one too. 2016. Sanliurfa Regional Council for Conservation of Cultural Properties, decision 1940 from February 23rd, the 23rd of February 2016. The trees planted recently in the first archaeological site which damages the archaeological elements shall be uprooted by the excavation directorate and planted in different areas. Again, this mulberry tree on the hill can be exempted depending on the excavation directorate's discretion. No one cares. That's fine. But what is up, Diego? How you doing, brother? But yes, this was from 2016. The language here, which damages the archaeological elements, shall be uprooted by the excavation directorate. So this verbiage, these words that they choose here, to me, that I don't know if they're telling us in 2016 that the trees are damaging the site, or that if the trees damage the site, they can be removed. I, it's just unclear by the syntax there, so I don't know. But they still said in this 2017 master plan that that was for the years of 2017 to 2021 that they wanted to remove they already had the long-term goal of removing the trees. There was no plan on how that was going to be done, but they said that. So I don't know what to do with this. Now we're back to the site management plan. I forget if there was something at the end. There is this is all in German. I don't read German. Yeah, this is not what I was looking for. I think I have to download, wait a minute. I think I just saw what I was looking for. Here's what we're looking for. So this is from the 2017 site management plan. Yes, Rue, I agree with that assessment of who went through it. So we are going to also love that guy. It's the one Turkish guy who's around. I have to rotate this. How do I rotate this in this app? Killing me, Smalls. What app am I in? I'm just in Google Drive. How do I rotate? Rotate. View. Oh, come on, guys. You're killing me here. Rotate it. Rotate. Do I have to put this in Lumen to rotate it? I don't understand. All the text is sideways. What am I supposed to do here? Here we go. Okay, we're going back down to the bottom. We're going to hope that Lumen PDF allows us to rotate. Why am I scrolling when I should be finding it? Somewhere around here. Somewhere around here. Here we go. Oh my God. I'm so sorry for this. I'm so sorry. How do I rotate? It's like my computer is running on something different. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Okay. So this right here, these are the aims. And again, this is the 2017 Site Management Plan. And these were put in place. This is the action plan that they have. I'm an olive tree. I am absolutely not an olive tree. I am Groot. Okay. Site conservation. So here they have timelines, very specific timelines. So in 2017, and this Lee Clare's name is on this document. There are many other names on this document, by the way. Lee Clare has just made himself the public face of a lot of this, even though he's not the full. He's not like the full academic or excavation director. That is Dr. Necmi Kurul of Turkey. Lee Clare is of the German Archaeological Institute that has had a huge part in excavating the ruins. He's in a high position, but ultimately the responsibility for all of this does lie on the Turkish government, which Lee Clare and the German Archaeological Institute work for or with, or it's not clear to me if he is like a direct report to them or not. But regardless, this is in very clear language, unlike some of these other documents. And remember, this is 2017. On aim number 1 being site conservation, they have a time frame of 0 to 1 years. So within 1 year of January 2017, meaning by the end, 1 year would be January of 2018, they want to commission, finalize, and adopt a conservation plan. It is now 2025. It is December 10th, 2025. This comprehensive conservation plan does not exist. It has not been created. Per the timeline in January 2017, this is now 2018. In next month, this will be 8 years late from this timeline. 8 years later. They had 1 year. They are now 8 times whatever. They're 8 times past 1 year. Not past 1 year. They're freaking, you know what I mean? Okay, it's crazy. Integrate and implement the conservation plan within the overall site management process. This is a high priority activity, just like the comprehensive conservation plan. It's high priority. It's high. These are the things you want to be concentrating on. It's not only not integrated and implemented, even though the goal was for 2 to 5 years and ongoing. This is supposed to be a continuous thing. They haven't even written it. They don't even have a draft in for the comprehensive conservation plan 8 years later than it was due, 9 years later from when it was written. But they were already supposed to have it entirely implemented and working from now, ongoing, as in they should have already completely integrated within the site management process. They did not do that. They are years late on that. Landscape design, don't care. It's also a medium priority activity, unlike the high priority. We're going to go down here, excavation and research. Nope. To enable, prepare a research plan. I'm not sure if that has been created. Study on the unexcavated area for the demonstration of the long-term. No, not important for right now. This is crazy. Absolutely crazy. Publish articles regularly. That's not super, it's hard to tell what that means. Baseline survey for tourism. I feel like the trees were somewhere else in this. I've been looking through all these documents. Yes, Lee Clare. Wait, he's not the site manager. Who is? I thought that Nekmi Karul was also the head of excavations. And Lee Clare also manages excavations, but is not the full head of excavation. I could be incorrect there. Community involvement is not what I'm looking for. Institutional framework. Management resources. Is this what I want? Why do all you people hate olives? They taste terrible. And they're associated with rich people drinking martinis. Wait, did I miss the management plan? Send the wait, what? Approve the management plan and send the plan to relevant institutions. This is all about this management plan, which is already out of, it's already expired. Evaluate and update the management plan at every 5 years. High time frame 1 to 5 years. That didn't happen. The 5 years, I believe, is a requirement under Turkish law that expired because the management plan was created in January 2017. It expired in December of 2022. So it's been expired for it has been expired for 4 years now. This management plan. So per the goals of this management plan, this did not happen. Yeah, let's move on to something else. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. One moment. Ah. So now I want to look at May 2018, acceptance as a World Heritage Site. So this document is from UNESCO. Wait, did we already look at this? Yeah, we sure did. Summary of the state of conservation. This is from Turkey. Let's put that in there. This is from Turkey, December 2019. Okay. So the following document includes responses to the recommendations. That's what we just read. That's the recommendations that we just read, including recommending the site management plan be revised already. Remember, 2018, they had recommended that. Okay. The committee recommendations mainly focus on the revisions to the management plan so as to include a conservation plan, maintenance plan, risk preparedness plan, visitor management plan, and above all, to appoint a manager based at the property all year round. An on-site staff has been appointed, and conservation plan is under review and pending confirmation due to circumstances as described in detail in paragraph E1, which I believe this is a summary of this. I don't believe I have access to the full report. However, I also don't believe that the conservation plan, while it said it was under review as of November 2019, this document being from December 2019, I don't believe that was adopted. So here, the one that we have after this is the State of Conservation Report. So this is from UNESCO. This is the State of Conservation from UNESCO. Okay. Sorry, it takes me a moment to get oriented. So it was inscribed on the World Heritage List 2018. And in June of 2021, this is the State of Conservation Report that UNESCO put out in response. So to whatever they've gotten from Turkey and the progress. The state party submitted a report on the state of conservation on the property. Okay, so on December 2019, Turkey submitted a report on the state of conservation. They did not, that is what we just read from Turkey. That is not the plan. They don't have the management, or this does not tell us they have the conservation plan. Regarding the development of the management plan and the committee's request to provide a full conservation plan, the state party reports that the property has an operational conservation plan and outlines a number of current conservation measures and funding applications. The conservation plan is being revised in this context. So they don't have this conservation plan in June of 2021. Progress has been made in relation to some of the committee's recommendations at the time of inscription. Ongoing development of the management plan. No actual results, but development, ongoing development. There are elements which require further work. So already in June of 2021, UNESCO is telling Turkey that there are elements that require further work. Full conservation plan to underpin a well-planned, resourced, and long-term approach. Some immediate actions and funding applications are noted. Let's highlight this. That's not highlighting, that's highlighting. Okay. Irrigation canal, blah, 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 blah. We'll go to the next document. December of 2022 is now where we're at. We're in December of 2022. Okay. You know what? Let's get this in Lumen. We're going to open it up in Lumen so we can highlight things, get real fancy with it. Get real fancy. Okay. So this is now 2022. In December of 2019, the verbiage that they used, this is June of 2019. We're going to go back in a moment. Okay, they discuss, the Turkish government discusses revisions to the management plan so as to include a conservation maintenance plan, risk preparedness plan, visitor management plan, and a manager. They did appoint the manager. And I think that they said the conservation plan was in the works. 2022 is where we're at now. A full conservation plan, 2022, a full conservation plan will be prepared based on the decisions taken by UNESCO World Heritage Committee and recommendations proposed by the advisory body. In this direction, first of all, basic principles for the conservation strategy were determined. Okay, so they're saying a full conservation plan will be prepared. It was already in the works years ago. Going to the one I can highlight. But now they're saying that it will be prepared. Somehow there was not progress enough made to publish it within 3 years. This is Göbekli Tepe, one of the most important sites to human history. In accordance with the related legislation in Turkey, comprehensive revision of a management plan is conducted every 5 years following its approval. The 5-year implementation period of the management plan of Göbekli Tepe expired on January 2022. So they are saying themselves that they are not in, I don't know if they're breaking laws here. I don't think they're committing misdemeanors like they're going to get arrested, but they are admitting that even at the time of this is 11 months later after it had already expired per Turkish law. So they are not in compliance with UNESCO's guidelines, and they are now not in compliance with Turkish law as of January 2022. This report from December 2022 says that the revision process of the management plan was initiated. The revised management plan should include a full conservation plan, a risk preparedness plan, and tourism management programs. Really upsetting. Now we're going further. We're going even further in time. July of 2023. This document is from UNESCO. Okay. On 30th of November 2022, the state party submitted a report. That's what we just read. 30th of November, December 2020, December of 2022, same thing, I guess. Month between them. But that's what they're, I've clicked on the link. That is what they're referring to. Okay. Progress has been made on some of the committee's recommendations and useful clarifications provided. For example, on the commencement of the review of the management system. However, important elements of the recommendations have not been fully developed and require further work. It's almost the same language. Useful information is provided on maintenance, conservation, and protective measures for the property, as well as on the designations in place to protect the property, buffer zone, and management area. However, these are not especially relevant to the issue of close monitoring of the impact of developments. Don't tell me what to do, JC. I'm not going to bed. Never. I never sleep. So this is what UNESCO is saying in 2023. They're still asking for the same things. Wait, oops. December of 2022, rather. July 2023, we're now getting, oh God, I confused myself. What did I do? No, this is from UNESCO. This right here is from Turkey, not the animal. This is a much longer document that I will go over. This will all be in a standalone video. I'm going to work on that now. I'm back. Okay. So now, this is December 2024. This is another document, now from Turkey. Oh, God. The 5-year implementation period of the management plan of Göbekli Tepe expired on January of 2022. This is what they already told us, December of 2022, when it was already expired. And now they are giving us 2 years later in December of 2024, when it is now 2 years and 11 months expired per Turkish law. They're giving us the information that the plan was initiated, which is exactly what they told us far earlier, 2 years before this. And the final document, July 2025, from UNESCO. Okay. The process, this is again from UNESCO. The process to revise the management plan, which expired in January 2022, was discussed in September 2024 by both the Advisory Board and Coordination and Audit Board. It was decided that the revised document would include a conservation plan, a risk preparedness plan, and tourism management programs. It's the exact same verbiage we've seen 3 times now, as far as I know. The conservation plan is also due to be updated. It was due to be updated in 2018 when it was accepted. So it's been due to be updated now for 7 years at the time of writing this. Okay. Remember, this is from UNESCO. A lot of this stuff is repeated, but acknowledges the state party's intention to revise the management plan and related planning tools for the conservation of the property, and urges, underlined by the way, urges the state party to limit further archaeological excavations and interventions in the property to urgent measures necessary for stabilizing areas at risk of collapse and preventative maintenance, pending the finalization and adoption of a comprehensive risk management plan, which in 2017 of January, they said was a high priority task that should have been completed within 1 year of January 2017, which would have put it at January of 2018. This report is from 2025, July of 2025, and it's still not there. And somehow this is okay. And in July of 2025, they said to limit further archaeological excavations and interventions in the property to only, so limit excavations and interventions to urgent measures necessary for stabilizing in areas at risk of collapse and preventative maintenance. It's in black and white from a UNESCO document. This is what they're saying. They have to reiterate their request to continue archaeological survey work as a basis for reassessing the level of statutory protection afforded to the buffer zone. So continue archaeological survey work for reassessing the level of statutory protection. So they're telling, like, everything they're doing is in like crisis mode at this point. Welcomes the submission of a well-structured visitor management plan. And so Turkey apparently submitted a well-structured visitor management plan. So they care about the visitor management plan. That's what they've done, but they haven't done a conservation plan or a management plan, despite them being due per Turkish law years ago, per the site management plan in line with Turkish law years ago, almost a decade. And within UNESCO guidelines, these were requested, although no specific timeline for completion was stated, 8 years ago in 2026. I'm sorry, 2018. Ridiculous. Given that the previous management plan expired in 2022, the previous management plan expired in 2022. I just cannot say that enough. It is 2025. Include a full conservation plan. They're requesting the same thing. They want a full conservation plan. They just can't get it. They keep asking for it. It just won't get their management plan. Also, request the state party to submit the revised management plan, including an updated visitor management plan to the World Heritage Center. It's not happening. They keep requesting it. They keep requesting it, but it's not happening. Okay. Do we have any questions from the class today? Does this make sense to people? Is this crazy? Is this new information? I don't think anyone cares. It doesn't seem like it. Maybe I'm just saying it badly. I got to synthesize all this freaking information, man. Wild. Wild stuff going on here. No, it does not make any sense at all. You're right. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Sad. Real sad. Wish they cared. Wish Lee Clare wouldn't tell us that excavations are going on. I don't know if he said normal, but this is not normal. Why do I have a crown? Am I now your king? Yes, you are my sovereign. I can't believe I'm being ruled over by Australians. I never thought this would happen. Oh my God. What's going on here? No, we're good. All right. I got to go for now. I want to give you guys something. I'll be back soon. I forgot when I started, but I think I'm going to leave this one up. And then this is going in a standalone video, probably a Twitter thread. All right. Bye, everybody.